Tragedy is exceedingly distressing. Not only have you had business places destroyed by this fire, consumed by this fire, but you have had private homes. And from my estimation, subject of course to further clarification, some 7 or 8 households have been affected, particularly in this area where we are conducting this interview. This could not happen at the worst time because we are on the eve of Christmas celebrations, and I'm certain that the business owners had plans for their businesses. So it's really a tremendous loss for them. And of course, there are some aspects of this that are encouraging. First, I want to take the opportunity to really congratulate the St. Lucia Fire Service, the men and women of the fire service from Soufriere to Vieux-Fort. Everyone has told me that they did an outstanding job in very difficult circumstances because the water pressure was very low. Call was made to the fire service in Vieux-Fort. They arrived on the scene. And many of the residents told me, had it not been for the support from Vieux-Fort, the fire would have been far more extensive. So I want to congratulate the men and women of the fire service, and it is comforting that having arrived here, they were on the scene trying to put out the last remaining flames, last remaining fires in the buildings that have been destroyed. So I want to thank them. Secondly, the people of Soufriere, despite the damage, the destruction, despite the fact that the fires consumed so many buildings, they remain very hopeful and resilient. And again, I want to thank them because they got together to address this problem. They attempted to work together, give support to the fire service, to do the best to save houses and of course the contents of the houses. And despite disasters, when people can come together, work together in the interest of their community, this is something always to be appreciated because it could have been worse had it not been for the support of the members of the community. It will be a huge task to rebuild. This was an important corner in the life of Soufriere, next to the square, but you have had business places here, located here, for years. I mean, even as a boy, I remember all of these buildings. So the loss is immense. It's not just a loss of buildings, of the history of the place, but of course the loss of the livelihoods of so many persons, and some of the persons are very small business people. Obviously, we will have as a government to do our very best to assist. I pray and hope that the persons who own the buildings, particularly the Jacob Charles family, would consider rebuilding this area. Of course, it's too early in the day to look into the future. Certainly the government of St. Lucia would attempt to assist the house owners, the distressed house owners. They have taken this very hard. Some of them have just renovated their homes, and you know, when these things happen, to destroy all your life's efforts, it's even more difficult to accept and to understand. But I've had to comfort a few of them and to emphasize that we would be available to assist once we have received the fire reports. But I would want to launch an immediate appeal to the public to help them, particularly those who have lost their clothing, food, etc. The people of St. Lucia were magnificent when we had that disastrous fire in the Mang in Vieux-Fort. They responded as usual with their concern, as usual with their anxiety to help out others in distress, and I would hope that as Christmas approaches they would come to the rescue of the families here jointly with the government of St. Lucia, and I would try and launch this appeal as quickly as I could. I want also to thank my ministerial team who is here this morning, who responded very quickly, very early to lend support and assistance, and of course to discuss the losses that have occurred with those who have suffered this loss. I suspect we may have to end this interview because the smoke is now beginning to emerge around us, and I fear that if we don't move out of here, it might not be easy to conduct this interview at all. So thank you very much, but I want to reassure the people of Soufriere that we will be with them, we will work with them, we will find solutions with them, we will not abandon them in this hour of distress. Again, I thank them for the fact that they were able to lend support to each other, hold each other's hands, and help the community manage what obviously is a major disaster.
Mr. Pierre.